Thank you, band. That just touches my little Southern rock heart. My name is Corey Rieken, and welcome, welcome, one and all, whether you are online watching us later or here in the sanctuary. We are so glad you are joining us for this very special Sunday. So without further ado, will you join me in saying our opening statement, please? There is only one presence and one power active in my life and in the universe. God, the good, omnipotent.
Good morning, everybody, on this very fine morning. Let's stand up together, and we're going to sing Together We Sing. We've got so many great, wonderful musical things in store for you today, and I know you're going to be thrilled with everything. So, Together We Sing. Our praises in harmony. Together we know our way is revealed. Together we share our blessed awakening. We have arrived with love on our wings. Together we serve each other in joy and peace. Together we pray in unending praise. Together we play in sweet celebration. Spirit alive, your power is released. Together we sing our praises in harmony. Together we know our way is revealed. Together we share our blessed awakening. We have arrived with love on our wings. We have arrived with love on our wings. Thank you for singing. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Carla. That was wonderful. It is wonderful to see everyone here today. I am Louise Ross. I am honored to be your chaplain today. I'm going to ask that I remind you the chaplains are here to pray for you and for your circumstances. You can put prayers in any of the treasure little chests, or you can send them virtual. Anyway, shall we say together our daily word? Joy. I say yes to the joy that invites me in this moment. I want you to look to two people now, next to you, behind you, and I want you to send them joy. Two people. I'm doing it with our guitarist in the front, joy, joy, and in the back, joy. The truth is, as we go into our time of prayer, know we can approach all circumstances with an attitude of joy, because we know fulfillment is imminent. I'm going to ask you now to settle into your chair. Allow your breathing to become cleansing and pure as you open your heart and your mind and your soul to the truth of who you are. There is only one power in the universe, and that power is God within you as well. Knowing this, I affirm for you as you continue to breathe and keep your mind and soul open. I affirm for you vibrant health and wellness. I see for you prosperity, because there is an abundance of friendship, of love, of health, of money, of benefit, active in the universe. I see for you an abundance of harmonious, loving, kind relationships. Knowing that this is true, and all we have to do is to allow ourselves now to receive it. With an attitude and a feeling of joy within your heart, spend a moment feeling this happen. And we know this is always true for us. We are divinely inspired, and we are grateful and give thanks for this truth. And we let it be. Amen.
This is a very special song. We know it is. And we know this song. You guys know this song. Y'all know this song. And this man over here wrote this song. This is David Friedman. And so we're going to, it's a great song. And we're going to show him how well we sing it, aren't we? All righty then. So many things we can't control. So many hurts that happen every day. So many heartaches that pierce the soul. So much pain that won't ever go away. How do we make it better? How do we make it through? What can we do when there's nothing we can do? We can be kind. We can take care of each other. We can remember that deep down inside we all need the same thing. And maybe we'll find, if we are there for each other, that together we'll weather whatever tomorrow may bring. Nobody really wants to fight. Nobody really wants to go to war. Everyone wants to make things right. So what are we always fighting for? Does nobody want to see it? Does nobody understand? The power to heal is right here in our hands. We can be kind. We can take care of each other. We can remember that deep down inside we all need the same thing. And maybe we'll find, if we are there for each other, that together we'll weather whatever tomorrow may bring. And maybe we'll find true peace of mind if we always remember we can be kind. You are all so beautiful. Love you all so much. Thank you. Please have a seat.
I can't tell you how gratifying that is. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Thank you. And thank you, Louise, for that beautiful meditation. That was just beautiful. And I needed it as much as anybody. So, I have come here today. I have flown all this way from New York via a 3-hour unscheduled stopover in Austin because of weather. For one purpose, and one purpose only, to brainwash you. With today's meditation, music, video, talk, the signs that have been put up around the church so graciously by your extraordinary staff that just took such good care of me, and by my workshop at the end, I am going to implant a thought into your mind that hopefully you're not going to be able to get out, and that will change your life in unimaginably wonderful ways. So, a lot of meditating today. Get comfortable again, close your eyes, and think of a challenge you're having, or something you'd like to see heal, or something you'd like to have happen. It can be anything. Just hold it in mind. And now, for a couple of minutes, I'd like you to meditate on the phrase, help is on the way, from places you don't know about today. I'll repeat it a few times, and then we'll take it into the silence and let the music do it for you. So, help is on the way from places you don't know about today. Whatever the issue, whatever the challenge, whatever the dream, know deep in yourself, help is on the way from places you don't know about today. Help is on the way from places you don't know about today. Now, listening to the music, just keep repeating that to yourself. Help is on the way from places you don't know about today. And I'll be quiet for a minute. Help is on the way from places you don't know about today. So tuck that thought in somewhere in the back of your mind for safekeeping, and slowly open your eyes and come back to the room. Okay, now we continue your brainwashing. So take a look at this video and let the message of the video penetrate your mind and your heart and your soul.
Don't give up the ship, even when you feel it's sinking, and you don't know what to do.
Don't give up your dream, even though you may be thinking it never will come true.
Life has its own ideas of how things come about, and if you just hang in there, life is gonna work it out.
Help is on the way from places you don't know about today.
From friends you may not have met. Yeah, believe me when I say I know help is on the way.
You don't have to know where the path you're on is leading. You just have to walk along.
Dreaming as you go,
Asking for the things you're needing, you never can go wrong.
if you have faith that things are happening as they should, and just believe each step you take is leading you to something good.
Help is on the way from places you don't know about today.
From friends you may not have met. Yet believe me when I say I know help is on the way. Yeah. So open your heart, open your mind. No matter how you've tried and failed, tomorrow you could turn right. Help is on the way from places you don't know about today. From friends you may not have met. Yeah, believe me when I say I know help is on the way. Help is on the
So you may recognize some of those people. We made this video last year with over 70 people, Broadway stars, Broadway musicians, jingle singers, to benefit Broadway Cares, Equity Fights AIDS, COVID-19 Relief Fund. And I wrote that song in 1990 for an extraordinary singer named Nancy Lamont, who called me from the road and said, I'd like you to write me a new closing number, and if it could be something that sends people out of the show with a sense of hope, of inspiration, and possibility. So, as I sat down to write it, the title quickly came to me, from out of nowhere, where everything comes to us from out of nowhere. We're in church, so we could say, God. So, from out of nowhere came a few lines of the chorus, and then I got stuck. And I thought, all right, why don't I put my money where my mouth is if I'm saying help is on the way from places I don't know about today? Stop trying to figure it out. Get up and go to a party. So I went out and went to a party. And at this party, as I often do, being, as we say in Jewish, a yenta, I had a lot of conversations, and many of them were about people's challenges, things that people were going through, people were struggling with. So when I got home, I had the idea to think of all the various people I knew and the particular challenge that each one might be going through, and to address one line of the song specifically to what that person might need to hear. And in the course of this process, the song justified itself, because the fact that I was holding the idea that help is on the way from places I don't know about today, justified by it coming to me in ways I hadn't expected, and the song writing itself in the way it wanted to, not the way I thought it should. And now I always write that way, not knowing what's going to come out, from where it's going to come, how it's going to come, and I allow it. I don't write, I receive it. And when I remember to do that in my daily life, a lot of wonderful things tend to show up, resolutions happen in ways I don't always expect. So Nancy Lamott recorded that song on her first album, and Help Is on the Way quickly made it into the mainstream as an anthem of hope and healing around the AIDS crisis. Now, the thing that was striking about having an anthem of hope around the AIDS crisis is that during the early days, there was not a lot of hope. It really seemed like a hopeless situation. In most cases, it was a situation that was not going to get better. Getting AIDS at that time was a death sentence, and the disease was spreading relentlessly, and we didn't know how to stop it, and we didn't know how it was caused, and everyone was frightened. Now, the song, as you can hear, does not offer practical solutions of things to do. And in that case, there were none. There was nothing to do. It didn't tell you what to do, but I noticed nevertheless that people were drawn to the song and were getting comfort and inspiration from its message. And as time went on, I began to understand that although the song didn't offer a specific solution, what it did offer was a mindset, a blanket overriding way of looking at things, a thought within which we could hold whatever happens in the world, a thought that on the deepest level is in fact true, a thought within which we could live, as we were saying in the meditation, every present moment in joy and hope and possibility, no matter what's going on. A thought that allowed for out-of-the-box healing, things we never thought of, that opened us up to possibility, to things that came out of nowhere, to spirit, to God, to unexpected breakthroughs, even when breakthrough seems impossible. Don't give up the ship, even when you feel it's sinking and you don't know what to do. In short, the song is a song of faith, which we often define as the substance of things hoped for, the substance of things unseen. Substance stands beneath as a reality the things hoped for and the things unseen. So much of we experience inside, in the world and inside ourselves, depends on the working of our thoughts and the way in which they call on higher power and the movement of spirit on things unseen, which much more than our own will or conscious knowledge are the ways in which problems are solved and in which our lives are directed. In fact, the very basic things that sustain our lives, our hearts beating, our blood flowing, air, our nervous system, our digestive system, all of these things, the functioning of our organs, are all things over which we don't have conscious control, and yet they work perfectly without our knowing how. So, in the case of the AIDS epidemic, this combination of holding the thought of possibility, handing the situation over to higher power, taking whatever inspiration came to us and acting on that, eventually brought AIDS to the point it is at today, where it is a very manageable chronic condition that people live full lives having in many, many cases. So we certainly don't have control over higher power. By definition, even though it functions within us, it's not higher power, it's higher power. It functions outside of what we consciously know. So the idea is not to wield or take control of it, but to find ways to contact it, to get into the system, as it were, to open up to it, to allow it to infuse our lives and do its work in the way in which it works. This, by definition, is prayer. And the purpose of the song, Help Is on the Way, is prayer to put us in an open, connected mindset and let Spirit allow things unseen to materialize without our knowing how, when, where, or why. Life is never what's happening out there. Life is only experienced inside ourselves in the form of our thoughts and sensations. What this means is that each of us can experience the same happening out there entirely differently. My partner, Reverend Sean Moninger, likes to say, doesn't it just irk you when people you can't stand have friends? So it ain't them. It's I look at them and I see something that I think. So when we look at anything, all we're seeing is our own thoughts. Doesn't mean we're causing the world to happen or we're to blame, but we look at this and we see our thought. So, like a mirror, you look in the mirror, you see yourself, but there's nothing in the mirror. You look in it to see you. So knowing this, we realize, depending on the thought with which we are holding what happens, the thought within which we are looking in the mirror of events, we can experience a challenging event as an opportunity or as a block, as an ultimate predetermined outcome or as an infinite possibility that can lead anywhere depending on what we're thinking and how we hold it. So depending on the thought we're holding, we're open to different outcomes, and our behaviors, our responses, how we talk, who we talk to, are all unconsciously and instinctually directed toward one or another outcome. This isn't Pollyanna. This is the way it works. In fact, I got a real life example of this while I was writing this talk. I was sitting in Mount Sinai Hospital waiting for a medical test. Nothing serious, just a test. But I live in Connecticut, and I had driven in 50 miles that morning for a 9 o'clock test. I signed in, took the paperwork, sat down, and while I was waiting, began to work on this talk, and was looking for stories that might elucidate what I'm talking about. So after a few minutes, they called me up to the podium and said, "Oh, we don't have you on our schedule today. We have no record of an appointment." And my blood began to boil, and I began to get aggravated, and I remembered my doctor calling down to make the appointment and saying, "Oh, they're on the phone. Don't worry, we'll call back and we'll make sure you get it." Maybe they forgot. So I'm there, and I said, well, I drove in from Connecticut. I had this appointment. Now, I could have started yelling and screaming, but I was working on Help Is on the Way from places you don't know about today. So it's just annoying. You know, Sean once had a meeting with his board at our church, and he said, "You people, if you're on the board, you've got to function in complete integrity at all times." And he went home and went, "Oh, now I have to function in complete integrity. How awful." So I was working on this, so I took on the thought, help is on the way from places you don't know about today. And I said, well, I drove in from Connecticut. I have the paper. Anything you can do. I was cordial. I was nice. I was creating an atmosphere. She looked at the computer. She said, "We can squeeze you in at 12. I thought, oh, 12. I have to work this afternoon. I'm going to sit here 3 hours, and I'm going to just sit here because they made a mistake. What I said was, within Help Is on the Way, I said, I have to work this afternoon, and I did have this appointment. Now, is there any way we could do something better? She looked down, type. She said, okay, we'll put you in now. I did it. Now, I want to be clear, holding the thought, help us on the way, does not necessarily mean that she would do that. It is possible that wouldn't have happened. But the thought opened the door for me to feel my sensations, notice my thoughts, but to choose not to approach the person behind the desk with attack, which might very well have made her resistant. And I supported the thought that I can get what I need instead of that I can't, and chose questions and a behavior and a demeanor that left the door open and put us in a cordial, civil, can-do, mutual problem-solving relationship. Now, that being said, it's also possible that my thought, help us on the way, might have inspired me to yell and scream. Sometimes you get what you want doing that. But the point is, I was living within that thought. So whatever I chose within that thought was working within that thought rather than a more dire or not what I want outcome. I also couldn't help but notice I'd been sitting in the hospital trying to find a story that would demonstrate help is on the way. And there it was, just right in front of me. Now, this past year, with all the conflict and hopelessness and anger that it contained, with the pandemic, with the political situation, the divisiveness, the isolation, the song and the thought, help us on the way, have once again become very prevalent. I made that video that you saw, I posted it on YouTube and Facebook often, and I finally decided to put it into book form. A few years earlier, I had taken my song, We Can Be Kind, and put it into book form, and with each chapter being a line of the song, and it had been very well received, and I felt it helped a lot of people. So I did the same with Help Us on the Way, hoping that these stories would inspire people to open their minds to the possibility, whatever the challenges they might face. So here's one of my favorite stories from the book that shows how a seemingly hopeless situation, held within the right thought, can have surprising outcomes. And it was told to me by my favorite prosperity teacher, Edwene Gaines, who I'm sure many of you have seen speak here. She spoke everywhere. Love her. And it's based on the line of the song, "Don't give up your dream, even though you may be thinking it never will come true." So, it's called The Impossible Dream, and it's based on a workshop that Edwene did. She was doing a prosperity workshop, and she asked everyone in the workshop, write down your wildest dream. And this one woman said, no. She said, why not? She said, because it's impossible. It is not possible, given who I am and where I am, that this could ever have a chance of coming true. So Edwene said, what's your dream? She said, all right. I have a dream of traveling all over the world, first class, gorgeous clothes, first class hotels, and seeing all the sights of the world that I've never seen. The Paris Opera, the museums of Italy, the Colosseum, the Eiffel Tower. And I work as a part-time salesperson in a discount department store. So how is that going to happen? And Edwene said in her inimitable Southern drawl, honey, write it down anyway. So this woman, we'll call her Gloria, wrote it down and left. Edwene didn't hear from her until several years later, when all of a sudden she got a call from Gloria. And Gloria said, Edwene, you are not going to believe this. And Edwene said, honey, try me. So Gloria proceeded to tell her that about 6 months after the workshop, she was at work one day, and she had this sudden epiphany. She said, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing, but it ain't this. And on the spot, she quit her job, not knowing what she was going to do, where she was going to go. So it was lunchtime, so she went out to a diner to get some food and think about what's next. She sat down at a table, and there was a newspaper open to the want ads. And she thought, well, I might as well look through them. I'm going to need another job. There was an ad that was circled on the want ads. It said, personal assistant wanted. She thought, I could be a personal assistant. there was a phone number, so she called. And this woman answered, and she said, you know, I was married for over 50 years to a very wealthy industrialist, and he died recently. And because he worked all the time, I have all the money in the world, but I have never seen the world. And I'm looking for someone to travel with me. The assistant can make all the arrangements, decide where we're going to go. I will provide the clothes, the first-class airfare, the fancy hotels. They hit it off. She got the job and spent 1.5 years traveling the world with this lovely woman, seeing everything. And the woman was quite elderly, and at a certain point, she became ill. And Gloria, having become the closest person in the world to her, went home with her and cared for her until her death. And having no children, the woman left Gloria her entire fortune. So maybe we ought to start writing down those impossible dreams. See what happens. What do you got to lose? The book contains about 50 more stories like this, plus tips on how to practice help us on the way for yourself and for other people, and a lot of wonderful quotes on the subject. It's my dream that this book be by everybody's bedside and in everybody's bathroom. So you can pick it up and read something. I have one friend in Connecticut, this lovely human being, who buys them 20 at a time, and anytime someone says to her, I have a problem, she goes, here, love her. So the thing about opening books at random, so often I've found that when we do that, we get just what we need to hear when we need to hear it. Funny story about that. I was talking to a mentor of mine on the phone, and I was really aggravated. There was something going on. I was unhappy. I was hopeless. I didn't want to listen to positive anything. And she said, I want to read you something. And she pulled out this book that she read me something that was so perfect for what I needed. And I said to her, this is perfect. Thank you. This is so brilliant. What book is that from? And she said, oh, it's from a book called The Thought Exchange by David Friedman. I hadn't recognized my own writing, which says to me, once again, I don't write this stuff. It doesn't come from me. It comes to me when I need it. And so, as we're thinking of coming out of the pandemic with all the twists and turns and steps forward and setbacks and upset and fear and frustration it entails, like many people, I find myself confused about what's safe, what's not, what I think is right versus what other people think is right. What is the truth and what is not? Not to mention, what do I want to do and what is possible for me once we do come out of it? In the spirit of this song and this thought, I've decided not to focus on how I'm going to solve the problem, but focus on the thought I'm holding. So this year for my birthday, a friend gave me this beautiful blank notebook with this gorgeous blue paper from her favorite British paper manufacturer. And often I don't want to ruin these by writing something not worthy of them in it, so I never write in them. But I thought, why don't I make a Help is on the Way diary? So I opened the book and I wrote the whole lyric to the song Help is on the Way. And I read it. And then every day I open it and I write Help is on the way from places you don't know about today. And I write about whatever comes to me. Or I pick some other line from the song and write about that. And I've just found that already extraordinary things, large and small, are happening and showing up. Things I didn't expect, things I didn't know how they'd work out. So if you're having issues that you're finding challenging and you're looking for solutions that have eluded you or that seem to be outside of the box, I recommend you try keeping your own Help is on the Way diary. To that end, I don't know, most of you don't seem to have programs, but I've asked that lyric sheets to help us on the way be in all the programs. So you can pick up part of the brainwashing. It's got to be everywhere. So pick one up and get a book or your computer and write out the lyric. And every day, contemplate it and write to me at davidfriedmancomposer@gmail.com. David Friedman, F-R-I-E-D-M-A-N, composer@gmail.com. I love hearing from people how you're doing with this, how things have changed, how the thought has helped you, what has come to pass. And today at 1:30, we're going to be doing a special thought exchange workshop in which we explore what happens when we look at our challenges, our uncomfortable sensations, any pain we might have, through the lens of holding the thought, help is on the way. We're going to pick some challenges or a challenge we've been experiencing. Take on the thought, help is on the way. Notice and actually embrace and welcome any uncomfortable sensations or resistance that comes up when we let go of the negative limiting thoughts we've been holding on to protect ourselves from times in the past when we've been hurt by similar situations. This is the unique concept of thought exchange. It is the positive thoughts that, if we've had trauma, bring up the discomfort. You want to stay with those positive thoughts? You got to stay with the discomfort. And so we're going to let the thought help us on the way do its work on those sensations, on those, I call them protective thoughts, not negative thoughts, those thoughts we've held tight to because we're afraid. Many of you have participated in Thought Exchange before, and I look forward to working with you again. And if you have questions, or if you've never done it, I'll be out there, I'll be signing books, and I'll be happy to answer any of your questions. Now, one more quick story about the importance of holding the thought, help us on the way, again from the book, about how Nancy Lamott set this thought in motion for me years ago. Nancy was a magnificent singer, and I produced all her albums, and she was really my muse. I wrote many of my most well-known songs for her, and she introduced them. And Nancy died unexpectedly at the age of 43. And the night after she died, I was feeling so bereft and hopeless. And I thought, I'm never going to write again. I'm never going to do anything again. Everything is ruined. So at 3 in the morning, unable to sleep, I took my 5 CD player and I put the 5 CDs we had done together on shuffle to see what she would sing for me. And the first thing she sang was accentuate the positive. And I laughed. I thought, wow, that's how nice. What a lovely thought. And then she sang, help is on the way. And as the song ended, I began to cry. And I thought, help is not on the way. She's wrong. It's all over. This is a terrible thing. Life will not go on. And then she sang, help is on the way again. Now, what are the chances of that on a 5 CD shuffle? It just doesn't happen. And as she sang it, I went, okay. I will go on. Life will go on. And indeed it did. Not without sorrow, not without regret, but that's part of life going on. So, with all we've talked about this morning, I'm going to do for you what Nancy did for me, an extension of the brainwashing we have begun earlier. So get comfortable in your seats once again, close your eyes, and think of some issue, perhaps some challenge you're facing. It can be the same one you used in the first meditation or something different. I'm going to play you Nancy Lamott's original recording of Help Us on the Way. Listen carefully to each line and see if there are 1 or 2 or more that reach into your heart and mind and help you find a thought you can hold in mind as you go through your day, your week, your life. And if you're here this afternoon, bring this issue, and that thought or anything else you'd like to work on to the workshop. So close your eyes. Here's the song.
Don't give up the ship, even when you feel it sinking and you don't know what to do. Don't give up your dream, even though you may be thinking it never will come true. Life has its own ideas of how things come about, and if you just hang in there, life is gonna work it out. Help is on the way from places you don't know about today, from friends you may not have met yet. Believe me when I say I know help is on the way. You don't have to know where the path you're on is leading. You just have to walk along, dreaming as you go, asking for the things you're needing. You never can go wrong if you have faith that things are happening as they should, and just believe each step you take is leading you to something good. Help is on the way from places you don't know about today, from friends you may not have met yet. Believe me when I say I know help is on the way. So open your heart, open your mind. No matter how you've tried and failed, tomorrow you could turn and find that help is on the way from places you don't know about today, from friends you may not have met yet. Believe me when I say I know help is on the way. Help is on the way. Help is on the way.
So come on back. I just have to say, I have had the best time. This is the first time I've been on a plane in a year and a half, and what a wonderful place to start. And you folks who have taken such good care of me, and I mean, their whole day was spent waiting for me, you know. I mean, it was just, and the staff here has been fantastic, and James has been fantastic, and I just love it here, and love when I get a chance to be with you. So your brainwashing is almost complete. Join me at 1:30 for the final step of your complete help is on the way brainwashing. And I'll be out in the lobby after the service to sign books and answer any questions you might have. Bless you all. Thank you. I'm so grateful to have been here.
Thank you so much, David. Wasn't that wonderful? Help is on the way from friends you haven't met yet. I didn't know any of you 3 years ago, and you have all changed my life. So thank you. And now is the time to keep giving back to the church, the organization, the educational movement that gives us so much. We are asking for tithes, of course, and there's many, many ways to do it. There's the donation station in the lobby where you can drop a check, or you could put your check in the mail. You can text give to the phone number that you see on the screen. And using the Tithely mobile app, the church app, which you can download from any of those places you get apps for your smartphone, you can set it up to give monthly and just never even think about it again. You can also use that to do things like pay love offerings to workshops that might happen at 1:30, even if they're on Zoom and alive. So if you'll join me in saying our offertory blessing. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, Spirit.
When you're weary, feeling small, when tears are in your eyes, I will dry them all. I'm on your side. Oh, and times get tough, and friends just they can't be found, like a bridge over troubled water. I will lay me down like a bridge over troubled water. I will lay me down. When you're down and out, when you're on the street, when evening falls so hard, I will comfort you. I'll take your part. Oh, when darkness comes, yeah, and pain is all around, like a bridge over troubled water. I will lay me down like a bridge over troubled water. I will lay me down. Sail on, silver girl, sail on by. Your time has come to shine. Your dreams are on their way. See how they shine. If you need a friend, oh, I'm sailing right behind, like a bridge over troubled water. I will lay me down like a bridge over troubled water. I will lay me down.
Thank you, the talented Kelly Brown, who I promised to introduce, so now I just said it. I'm so sorry that didn't happen before you came up. All right, we have a lot going on this week here at Unity of Dallas, as we always do. This afternoon's absolutely wonderful workshop will be going on, as David said, so both by Zoom and in person, so don't go away. This week's D2 Counseling free lecture series is about releasing your attachment in order to live a better life. I'm kind of beginning to see a theme going on here. We also have the caregiver support group with Dottie Gandy happening this week. Divine Sisters will be happening next Saturday by Zoom only, and Casey Merritt will join us to show us how to use essential oils for a better day and daily life. And next week, another special guest speaker, Joshua Inacio, will be here, and he'll be doing a sound alchemy workshop next Saturday or Sunday afternoon as well. So we've just got a full slate this week. I believe we have a video from Joshua.
Hello to you all at Unity of Dallas. If I'm meeting any of you for the first time, my name is Joshua Inacio. I'm a sound healer and teacher from England, and I'll be coming to visit you on August the 22nd, which is the first time I've come in about 2 years with everything going on and so on. I'm a sound healer, I'm a teacher. I'll be giving the Sunday sermon that day, and I'm going to be speaking to the grace that you are, the importance of you and your presence and beingness showing up at this time. There's a lot in that and needed more than ever in summer 2021, I think. After that, I will be giving a class on sound healing using different modalities. You can see the gong behind me here. I use a didgeridoo, I use tuning forks, I use technology, I use my voice, and all of you as well. I'll have some space for a couple of sessions, private sessions after that, if you'd like to do that too. All of which is going to be a lovely experience. I am so excited to be sharing with you and be with you again after so long. But for now, I just want to wish you a wonderful, wonderful day, a wonderful week. God bless, be well, and I will see you soon.
We are so blessed here at Unity of Dallas, and thank you again for this lovely service. And I'm actually grateful for masks that can be doubled as Kleenex, because I use them every single week here. All right.
You know what time this is? Sing it like you mean it, friends. Let there be peace on earth, and let begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God our Creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment, peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Absolutely, and as we go forward into this week, into this world, we affirm with every fiber of our beings that help is on the way. And we keep that thought firmly in mind, and we keep our thoughts positive to meet each and every situation we come in contact with. And this is the truth, and we all say, Amen and amen. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful week.